Good morning, boys and girls, and welcome to Church at Home for Pre-K. Today, I've invited my friend David back. Hi, David. Everybody say hi. Say hi. Today, David, we're going to talk about what it means to obey. David, do you remember last week when we talked about disobey? What does it mean to disobey? Do you know? Okay, well, tell us. To disobey means to not do what God says. That's right, David. Very good. Now, today we're going to talk about what it means to obey God. What do you think it means to obey God, David? I think that obey means to do what God says. That's right. Now, David, last week we read about Adam and Eve. And we read when Adam and Eve did not do what God says, they were removed from the Garden of Eden. When we disobey, it means to not do what God says. But today, David, we're going to read a story from the Bible. We're going to read when Noah obeyed God. That means that Noah did do what God said. Boys and girls, our story today is called The Flood and the Rainbow. After Adam and Eve left the Garden of Eden, they had many, many children. And their children had children. And so it went for hundreds of years. There came a time when people of the earth did not know about God. But God could see them. He did not like what he saw. The people were selfish and evil. That means they did not obey God, right? They didn't do what God says. They fought and they did bad things to one another. God was sorry he had ever made men and women to live on the earth. Now he would put an end to all of the people. Look at these men, they're fighting. Does God like it when we fight? No, right? They're disobeying God, right? But God wanted to save a man named Noah. Here's Noah right here. Noah loves God because he was a good man who obeyed God. God came to Noah and spoke to him. I am going to flood the earth and destroy everything on it. But I want you to build a great ark. Here's the ark. An ark is a boat. I want you to build a big boat for yourself and your family. Bring into the ark 2 of every kind of animal. The smallest and the largest, animals that fly and those that walk and crawl on the ground. So here's Noah's family. And then do you see the animals that are going into the boat? Yeah, because God is about to send rain and it's going to flood the whole earth. Do you think Noah is going to do what God says? I think so. So Noah built the ark just like God told him to do. So Noah obeyed, right? Here's the ark. Oh no, here's all the water. Here's the flood. He made it large enough to hold all the animals and enough food to feed everyone. When the ark was ready, the animals came in 2 by 2. At last, Noah and his wife and his 3 sons and their wives went inside the ark. So do you see the ark? Who's inside of the ark? All the animals and Noah and his family are all in the ark, and food enough to feed everyone. It rained for 40 days and 40 nights. The earth was flooded, and every living thing was destroyed. But Noah's ark was well built, and it floated on the water. Inside, it was dry and warm. Oh, look, here's Noah. Do you see what he's doing? There's a bird right there. At last it stopped raining, and God remembered Noah. He sent a great wind, and water began to go down. After many days, Noah sent out a dove. Here's the dove. It's a bird. When the dove flew back the second time, it held a leaf from an olive tree. So Noah knew that there was land. He waited 7 more days and sent out the dove again. And look, where are they now? This time the dove did not come back, and Noah knew that the dove had found dry land to live on. So he opened the ark and let out all the animals. Then God made a promise to Noah. I will never again use the flood to destroy the life on the earth. Life will go on because of you and your family and the animals you took on the ark. Then a rainbow appeared in the sky. Look at the rainbow, God said to Noah. It is a sign of the promise I have made to you. So today, David, in our Bible story, we read how Noah obeyed God. When you obey God, you do what God says. God said for Noah to build a boat. And did Noah do it? He did, right? Noah obeyed. Then God says to take 2 of every kind of animal. The animals that fly, the animals that crawl, big animals, little animals. And did Noah obey? He did obey. Noah did what God said to do. And it rained and it flooded just like God said. And then God kept them safe inside the boat, right? Now, boys and girls, that's what I want you to remember today, is that we want to obey. When we obey, we do what God says. Have a great rest of the day, and I hope to see you next week for Church at Home for Pre-K.